Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope you're doing fabulous wherever you're watching. I hope the weather is treating you like a gem. My name is Scott Mendenhall. If you're coming in from our very short one-wheel video today, it was just buttery content, which we mean smooth as butter content for you to enjoy our new trail system here in Minnesota. If you didn't watch that and you're just checking this out midweek, hey, welcome. It's going to be a fun one. We got a good topic. I'm never alone. We are loaded with people in the room that have had an amazing week, and we're going to quiz them really quick just to get things turning a little bit. But let's say good morning to the one and only Joey. How we doing, man?
I'm doing great.
I see on Instagram you're messing with some concrete.
I am. I'm messing with some concrete. I have some blisters to show for all the hard work.
You have blisters? Wait, I gotta see that
on
again.
his thumb.
My thumb, I got one on each thumb and two on one thumb, one on the other.
From
thumb.
what?
Joey.
From shoveling.
Man, you need to work on some calluses.
And
what is that? What is that? You're giving an action.
Yeah.
Is this
hammering
straight?
the dirt to loosen it up?
What? Hammering? Oh, you're not using a hammer though. You're using like a pick.
Like a pick.
Yes.
Yeah. To chop up all that dirt and move it.
When I saw your post, I thought that is adulting right there.
Yeah, I felt like I feel like I'm adulting for sure.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I'm learning.
Not many first homeowners at like 25 years old, 26 years old, go and beat concrete. They just like, I'll live with an uneven patio. But not you, my friend. You're getting after it.
Yeah.
Except
for I'm older.
I was gonna say, are you just gonna pretend
I'm
you're
almost
25?
30.
You're almost 30. Speaking of 30 years old, we have Lily in the studio. How we doing, Lil?
So good.
You so good today?
30 and thriving.
Got your coffee in your hand?
Yeah.
It's good.
Hi, everyone. I'm not 30. Not yet.
Not yet.
I'll make it there
June.
soon enough.
June. Her birthday's in June.
I will not be 30.
June what? 17th?
June 16th.
Ooh, so
She'll
close.
be 27.
Yes.
29.
Yeah, she's still
And how are you today, Scott?
You know what? Thanks for asking. No one ever asks me
Okay,
here.
let's
so
not.
it's kind of nice.
Let's
It's
not
good.
be a victim here. We don't play the victim game in this place.
Just having a good laugh to everybody this morning. We are pretty stoked to be with all of you. I'm doing so good. I have all my fruits and vegetables in one little drink today.
That's
I'm
so
starting it early.
Joey, they're wondering why you weren't wearing gloves.
I
wears
was
gloves?
well. That's a
I
great
never
question.
wear gloves.
Well, when I was jackhammering, I forgot.
Buddy.
I forgot to put gloves on, and I didn't know how to use it, so I was fighting the jackhammer too. And then I wore gloves like half the time, and then when I realized, I'm like, oh, I got blisters. I'm putting gloves on. So it's kind of too late.
Ryan and I were working yesterday on the trails. We're still got more things we're doing to our trails, which we are now calling, and I left the one little word out. I think we're going to add in the Northern Gauntlet Trails. We were working on those trails for our last
Did you
one
leave
we
it
were
out
standing.
on purpose?
Well, I didn't know, as we got a phone call coming in if we want to take that real quick. We have Dwayne joining us here shortly.
Woo!
But we were working there, and Ryan and I actually had a conversation about gloves that we just don't want to wear them while we're working. It's just we said no.
Why?
Because I feel like it slows me down. Like,
Slows you down.
yeah.
I don't know if it slows you down. I did come in to the house after and was like, look at my hands. I'm a man's man now.
Oh my goodness.
Wow,
I
Joey,
told my-
anytime
told
my
my
hands
wife
are torn
that-
apart, I do not feel like a man.
Ooh, good point. Ooh.
What did she say?
I said anytime my hands are torn apart, I don't feel like a man. I hate, one of my biggest pet peeves is hand cuts. I hate it.
Hate it.
It's so
Okay,
frustrating.
let's get Dwayne in here. Dwayne is, he comes in with a lot of wisdom, most wise man that Lily knows. She said it, we just quote it, but he is a good man. She said it, we just quote it, but he is a good man. He's
a good man.
He's talented beyond means. The dude has run a ridiculous amount of marathons consecutively, coming off a marathon in the last few weeks, and has another one in another few weeks. He's trying to do 50 by 50.
That's so cool.
My friend is 21 years old, married, and has... I don't get ages right if you don't know this, but we have Dwayne Nichols in the house this morning.
Either you
Dwayne.
shoot too high or you
Good morning,
shoot too
Dwayne.
low.
Good morning. Good morning.
Dwayne, sounding great.
You're looking
How's
good.
it going?
It's good. It's good.
How do you-
Funny, 21 years. It's like we
Yeah.
established last week that I've been married 14 years. So
Yikes. Yeah.
and then 21.
In which part of the world were
yeah.
you living when
Yeah.
this happened?
Yeah.
When they
right.
hear you, they hear your accent though, and they go, "Oh, from the South." They'll probably go, "Well, maybe so." No, I'm just messing. And if you're from the
Fair
South, no offense. Sorry, no offense. Okay, Dwayne. Did you hear any conversation about yard work and gloves?
Yeah, just a little bit. So
Okay,
Lily
so-
said she doesn't feel like a man with the cuts on her hands.
Right, because she's not. Well, but here's a question for you, and we would love to hear you in the chat. We'll say good morning to all of you, but first question for everybody in the chat. Dwayne's going to answer it as well. Are you a gloves on or gloves off when doing any kind of manual labor, I guess? Because I've seen technicians on cars put on gloves or picking up bushes, whatever. So, Dwayne, are you a gloves kind of person or no gloves?
I am not a gloves person. I'm not a gloves person.
I think
Like,
I think it says something, in my opinion. This is my
I
opinion.
think it says that I don't like do that regularly, so that's why. My dad is like the man's man, and he wears gloves, so
Oh.
he's wise. So
He's
wiser
wise.
than I guess.
Yeah, I do think that's what I
Gotta
see.
meet him.
People are gonna think I'm saying that it's a man that wears no gloves. I'm actually saying it's the foolish man that doesn't, because my hands are always tore apart, but I just don't want to go get gloves. I really feel like I'm better without them, though I might get a thorn or two in there, but I just feel like I know what I'm grabbing, especially when I use chainsaws and stuff. I don't want gloves on my hands. I just feel like I would cut my leg or something. Yeah. Okay. Just there's a okay. Let's say good morning to a few people in the chat, and then we're gonna get to a quick quiz on Earth to Lily and Joey and Dwayne once in a while. Okay, here we go. But we got MQT one wheeler. He's 32. He's saying, and he was in there. I say he. I don't know.
Yeah,
He, right.
Zach.
Oh yes, it is
Yeah,
Zach.
that's our Kanye West friend.
Yes, Kanye West.
He loves
friend.
Kanye.
Okay, so he was the first one in there today that I saw in the chat.
Cool.
We have Manny in there.
Marnie.
Oh, Marnie. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My screen is over there, and
He's
I'm
so far from you.
like I can't even type it. We have Teresa Mendenhall Johnson in there. I wonder, Teresa Mendenhall Johnson, is Mendenhall your middle name? Because I just got three names there. I know the answer. She's my sister. Just giving her a hard time. Dan says, and he works in his garden all the time. You should follow him on Instagram. Dan, would you please drop your handle for your Instagram so people can be jealous, really, pretty much, of what you do?
Kaylee's in the chat.
Gloves
Hi,
on.
Kaylee.
Gloves on when working around the farm. Just have to find the right gloves. That's the issue, is trying to find the stupid gloves for me. It's like, why? Why even hunt down for them? I will get a pair and then I leave them somewhere. Like, true story. Our youngest child, who is Revolution, I do not know his age currently, but it's somewhere around
almost
2.
3.
Almost 3. Thank you. He came out down and played in the trails, in the Northern Gauntlet trails, and at like 9 o'clock last night, I walked through the trails one last time, and in the middle of one of the trails, we found his only pair of shoes.
Aww.
Had we
He
not
had taken them off.
Yeah, in the
Yeah,
middle
they
of
would
the
have
trails.
been gone.
And then
You
today we would
wouldn't
have been
found
like
them.
frantically,
Barefoot child.
yeah, where are your shoes? And he would be like, I don't know. Like, why would he know? But he took them off in the middle of the. Anyways, okay. We have. Who else do we have in there? My sister. She says, ha ha ha. We have. Is it
Nick
We have Nick in there.
Orlando.
Oh yeah, Nick Orlando. Good to see you today. Dan going. There's his. It's 6-speed Dan. Why Dan? Why 6-speed? Is that for
He's
a
a
car?
race car driver.
Yeah, that's what I wonder if it alludes
It's
to
like
that.
a side gig of race car driving.
Maybe. Okay. We have Justin in the chat this morning. We have Tree Kinner, 13. Ryan Stother's in there.
Justin.
Justin.
Yes.
Good to see everyone this
Yes.
morning. Okay.
What's the Earth quiz we got?
Okay, we're gonna get to the quiz. We're gonna start it a
excited.
little slower today, just for laughs and giggles and laughs.
You're going slow.
Yeah, just like we're not getting to the topic today, we're gonna have a little bit of.
We're going.
Since we are all talking about moving Earth stuff, and we have got.
You are.
Yeah, we've all been Lily,
Yes,
did
sir.
you do anything outside yesterday to move the Earth?
To move the Earth.
Yeah, like Joey's moving the
I was
Earth.
a part of everyday society.
Yeah, that's the grind we call it. But how about
Not really.
no? You just
What? I
you didn't
did-
shovel one. Did you pull weed?
No, I didn't.
Go
pull
outside right
any.
now and pull a weed so you can really have something to say about this conversation.
No thanks. I don't have gloves. I don't do manual labor.
That's not true.
It
I've
is
seen you.
true.
I've seen
Yeah.
you use a jackhammer.
No, I've never.
Oh, yeah.
I did not do that.
But
Okay.
You've done work.
I think I had to go to the bathroom. or
Okay, here we go.
something.
Here's your first
I
question.
had to go to the
for those.
bathroom or something. All right.
Oh, Dan is saying 6-speed. Dan has always been a
Car fanatic.
Yeah, so Dan, what's your favorite
What's your-
car?
Yeah.
Ooh, you were going to ask that when
I
you
was.
joined.
What's your favorite car?
Lily, look at those pants. Yes, look at them.
What-
I thought
Checkered.
I thought you said
pants.
plants for a second. I was like, where are the plants?
Okay, here we go. What is the Joey? What is the name of the submerged fringe of a continent?
Submerged.
Oh, yeah.
fringe.
California would be
the
one
submerged fringe.
of them. This, let's ask
Oh,
Dwayne.
I
I'm not
almost
right.
forgot Dwayne was here for a
Yeah, and
second.
then we heard
I was
Dwayne
like,
in the
what is that
background.
noise?
Did you hear my? Okay.
Yeah,
sorry.
you said the submerged fringe. Was
Yeah.
that your answer?
Yeah, it was.
No, the answer is not in the question this time, Joey.
Oh well, you know what? I was using my
Yeah.
my prior knowledge.
Yeah, you're a good man. How about you, Dwayne? Do you know the answer?
The submerged. Repeat
Fringe.
the question. Repeat the question.
Okay, what is the name of the submerged fringe of a continent? California would be one. Yeah, Lily, you're right in the mic.
The
when you
coast?
whisper that. The what?
The coast.
The coast.
That's a good.
That's a good one, but no.
The submerged fringe, California would be one of them.
Yes.
I would.
Continental shelf.
Oh yeah, no.
Mm,
I never would have
sorry.
gotten that.
I thought that was just like. Never mind. I don't know.
Joey, you should get this one, but we're gonna go with Lily first.
Great.
78% of the Earth's atmosphere is composed of what gas or which gas?
Is it multiple choice? submerge of which gas?
No, submerge is not in
Gas.
language.
Okay.
78% of the Earth's atmosphere is composed of which gas?
Oxygen.
She says oxygen, which is not correct.
Is that a gas?
Yes, that is a gas, but no. Joey, how about you?
Gas.
It's
CO2.
Nitrogen.
CO2?
Nitrogen.
Nitrogen. Lily comes
Ah!
in. Nitrogen
I'm
is
in-
it. Doesn't even give Dwayne a chance.
Thank you, Ryan. How
Oh,
do you
Ryan.
even
Yeah, I
know
think
that?
Ryan
It's so
definitely
weird
got that
you
one.
even know that. Like, why do you know that?
Yeah. What?
22. What is
Nitrogen.
nitrogen, Joey?
It's a gas. It's a gas that I learned in science that I haven't
But
learned
Joey,
since.
what is nitrogen?
It's a gas.
But what is it?
I can't explain the
Give me an
compounds.
example.
The compound units of
I don't know about
nitrogen.
this
I, you
anymore,
know,
guys.
It's an
I'm
element.
sure
It's an
Dwayne.
element.
I'm sure
Dwayne
Dwayne's
just said
white. Yeah, an element.
But like, where am
The
I? that I'm,
periodic.
like,
Okay.
The
taking
periodic
in,
table.
All right.
Nitrogen instead of
On to
oxygen.
the Earth quiz.
All right.
On to the Earth quiz. Okay, Joey, you know that cable is like dangling in the shot, right?
No.
It is straight up, like it's just there.
All right.
It's
I'll
new. That's new.
Let's move on.
Okay, here we go. What is the mound of sand that have been windblown called? Come on. Someone.
Come
Yeah,
on.
then
Oh, Dwayne coming in.
Good job, Dwayne.
Dwayne.
And I have been to sand dunes in New Mexico, White Sands National Park. It was awesome. Everyone should check it out. It was beautiful.
It was where was it?
New Mexico, I think.
I think.
I remember though. It's called White Sands National Park. If you've been there, put it in the chat.
I just have to say that those that are in the chat today, this quiz must be stumping them because not many of them are giving.
I
they're
think
like,
that they're like, let's move on.
no, this is the Earth. We should know about it. It matters. I
It
think.
does matter. Did you know we wouldn't survive if bees
Oh my goodness.
bumped? No, I'm not kidding.
If they bumped what?
if they went extinct, we would not
Hold
survive.
on, but finish that. How you were gonna say if they bumped?
bumped it out of here. I don't
They
know what I
bumped
was
it
saying.
out of here?
I don't know what I was saying, but that's the truth. I heard
Dwayne,
it.
if somebody just said, "Hey, you know, the world would be a problem if the bees just bumped out of here," what do you think that individual is saying?
Yeah, I had no clue. I have no clue.
You would understand. It's like
They
the
bumped-
whole.
Smile and nod. Smile and nod. Okay.
Smile and nod, yeah. Smile away,
Smile.
boys.
I wonder
Smile away.
how much people smile and nod at me, like
Oh,
in
for
that.
sure.
Oh no.
Hey, I'm just gonna bump on out of here. Okay, here we go. A couple more. What is the sudden collapse and downward, Joey, motion of ice and rocks down a mountain side. What is
Avalanche.
that called? Ooh, he comes in.
Wow, Joey.
Joey and Dwayne are tied
That's
at the moment, I
impressive.
think. Lily, not even on the board.
I'm not.
You cheated. You got help.
got-
Hey, she got nitrogen. Oh no, she
Yeah.
No, I
second
didn't.
try.
I
Grinded.
read that from the chat. It does not count for me. Okay, what's the next one?
What is a very Lily? This is you. What is a very fast whitewater cascade? Is also known as what? Ooh, come on.
A rapid.
No, not even. I mean, at least it's something to do with water. How about you, Joey?
Current.
Current. Currently not correct.
Oh man.
Dwayne, you could take the win right here. We'll give it to you if you get this one.
Tsunami?
No, it's just waterfalls, folks. The words were waterfalls. Cascading might have been the. What is the imaginary line that runs through the North and South Pole called, Joey?
Equator.
Ooh,
Hey, he didn't
Dang.
ask.
it is not.
Dwayne.
It's not the equator because that would be through the tropics. That would be this. This is
The-
from north to south. Joey,
the-
your chance.
Oh shoot.
Oh boy.
Wait, what was the question?
Does someone online help Joey?
north is-
What is the imaginary line that runs through the North and the South Pole called?
I know this.
The
It's
equator.
not the equator.
Joey!
Wait, that-
Joey,
that's-
Dwayne just said that.
It's in the question. It's in the question.
It's in the question. No, it's not a pole.
I don't remember.
I
don't
remember this. It's like on the tip of my tongue.
Great. Should we wait the rest of the time till
No.
it comes out?
Because it's not on the tip of her tongue.
No, I do know it. Can you say it? It's bothering me.
Axis.
That's
Accent.
not what I thought it was.
No, the accent. That's like.
Tilt on an
The
axis.
imaginary line that goes from
All right.
through the North Pole and the South Pole, through it. So that would be correct. It's an imaginary.
Yeah, Nick. He says I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna bump out of here. I'm gonna use it too. I'm
Nick.
just gonna bump out of here. Bump. Peace
Bump.
out. I'm
Yeah.
bumping out of here.
Let's make it a t-shirt.
Bye.
What is the deepest land gorge on Earth, Joey?
Just kidding.
The
I'm not going
deepest
anywhere.
land gorge on
Prime
Earth.
Meridian. That's what I was thinking of.
Excuse me, it's my turn.
Primary has line.
No, not Prime Meridian.
The prime meridian.
I don't need
That's
it.
what I was thinking of.
Yeah,
that
but
was
what
what
does
was
that
in my
have to do with-
tongue. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay.
I think. Never mind. I don't know.
You don't know? How
I
about
don't
you,
know.
Dwayne, for the win?
Grand Canyon?
Yes, it is, my friend, and he's the winner. The deepest
Job, Dwayne.
He's the wisest
gorge
man.
on Earth.
And
this
it's
group,
proven. He is
Besides,
wisdom.
yeah.
See, we just had to prove Lily's deal that Dwayne
Exactly.
is the
This
man.
actually was all my idea.
So, for those that are watching online, Dwayne is a great friend. He originally from Mississippi, now lives in Minnesota. He only lives in states that begin with M's. I don't know why that is, but that's just if he moves from Minnesota, it's going to be back to a state with an M. I'm certain of it. It's just I'm going on history here. So he's going to be right now. He lives in the M&Ms. If we only had drum sound where you could go bump bump. You didn't like that joke, Lily?
It's okay.
Oh, not even Dwayne. I don't think appreciated it either. It was for him. That's okay.
Dwayne's silent.
Okay. Dwayne is silent. Dwayne's like, let's move on. Okay, so we got Dwayne in here to talk about the topic of the day. We're going to talk about this concept of who you're doing life with the most, who you're around the most, who you call the friends. They actually determine the direction and destination of your life. So let me ask this question. None of us are going to answer this because we would actually be pointing fingers at people. But are you doing life with people that you want to become like? If not, we're going to try to help you maybe make shifts in why you should make shifts in said group of friends because they help determine the direction of your life. So it's a big deal. Dwayne's going to help talk about that. We won't quiz as much for sure. But to get the conversation going, we have a cool little video to watch here on the idea maybe you've seen in shows. It actually comes from a author in the Bible wrote about iron sharpens iron. We have a great video on that. It gets quoted often in videos. Lil, what's going on over there with your
I'm putting
cardigan?
on my sweater. Thank
But I
you.
keep watching you take it on and off. What's going on?
I'm cold.
You're cold and hot,
Yes.
But so you get
is
hot,
normal
you
for
take it
me.
off,
Yes.
and then you're cold immediately. You put it back on.
Yes, this is normal.
I feel like it's winning though. Like you are struggling to get it on.
It is winning.
Like it's the distraction for me. I'm watching you over there. Like
I don't mean to distract you. I apologize.
what's the struggle? Like look at you.
Just let me be.
Wow. Are you good?
I survived just fine on my own. I'm
No,
fine.
you need people like us in your life to help you.
Yeah,
It's just true.
I do.
Okay. As
Okay.
long as you know. Okay, so here is a great video to set up the concept. We'll be right back. We're not gonna. What did you say? Bounce out of here?
We're bumping
Bump
out.
Oh,
out.
we're not gonna bump out of
We're
here.
bumping out of
We're
here.
not bumping out of
Or
here.
bop. Wait.
Bump. We're not bumping out yet. That's in
You
in
can
a
say
little
bop.
bit.
Bop.
Bop. No.
Bop.
No, that's a game. Okay.
No, bop. No, bop is a. What
what,
what
Joey?
was my team name for the one-wheel race?
Bonk.
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 Oh my.
Joey.
Bonking
Yes.
out of here.
I
We-
like that. Bonking out of here.
We are something special today, folks. I hope you're having fun and enjoying it. Okay, check out this video, and we will be right back with today's topic. Enjoy.
It begins with openness, the willingness to come alongside someone else, to pour out, care, invest. It's about sharing the journey, doing life together, growing, forging, becoming. It's about selflessness, caring enough to walk through the valley, even when it's painful. To love people as Christ has loved us. It's rejoicing when they rejoice, hurting when they hurt, being a hand, an encourager, a friend. We were not created to wander alone. For as iron sharpens iron, so one person sharpens another.
I like that imagery right there. Proverbs 27:7. That's what it said at the end. You should write that down as a bless you, Joey. Joey's about to sneeze. Do we want to put it on the camera? No, we
It's
stole
not
it.
gonna happen now.
We stole it.
That's good. I was trying not to have it.
Well, I stole it right from you. Why is that? Why can you steal sneezes?
I think that you just get distracted,
I don't know.
and then it's like
My sneezes are not quiet. They're
Yeah.
like
Joey, when you sneeze, do you sneeze one time or multiple times?
once, and it's just reckless.
Lily,
It's
when you
reckless.
sneeze, how many times do you sneeze?
it depends.
On average,
Twice.
twice. She's a two sneezer.
Yeah, I'm a one sneezer.
Every day. in
Dwayne,
the
how about
office.
you?
Dwayne?
Yeah, definitely a two sneezer.
Oh,
Definitely
let's
two
go.
Dwayne is a two sneezer?
Is-
Are any of you like? Do any of you hold it in?
No,
No,
that's so
I heard
bad for
that's
you.
Totally
Right?
not good for you.
That's
Tell Michaela that.
I
yeah,
don't think.
that's
I think
like-
that's an urban legend.
really
Somebody
bad for
should
you.
Google
I
that.
don't know why.
I feel
they-
like that's up there with the most venomous spider, if they had fangs, is a daddy long leg. That's made up. That's like just somebody that's afraid of spiders, don't want somebody to pick up a spider, so they say they just like they're the most venomous. Then if my dog ate them, when my dog eats them, because they do, they would die, and they don't. It's a myth. Are you looking it up? Is it dangerous? Somebody Google. Is it dangerous to hold a sneeze in?
I got you.
Okay, we'd just like to find that information out. Okay. Here's a question for you, Joey.
Yes.
Has anyone ever labeled you something positive? Positive. Okay, that's where we're headed, not negative.
Ever.
Yeah, positive. That
Okay.
you're like, no, that's not me.
Yes.
Do you have the story of that, or like has anyone told you like I got one for you if you can't think of one? But go ahead. Do you think of one that comes to mind?
Yeah, I think Scott has gave me a lot of unique names. He said I'm the most unique individual. He has told me that I am athletic.
Wait, there it is. And you don't think you're athletic?
I never said I don't. No, I'm a decent athlete.
Okay, so that is a label that he's been given that you do believe, but
yeah.
you
So a label that I don't believe.
right.
That I am. I don't know.
Oh, we were on a good track there.
I
Joe.
know.
Now we're derailed.
Now we're derailed.
Derailed. How about you, Lil?
I found out why you shouldn't hold in a sneeze.
Okay, good. That's we're back on that.
If you block the release of the we
Yeah,
can't
let's hear
say
it.
I'm gonna Google it and
I
then
know,
never
I know.
deliver.
Yeah, let's
If you
go-
block the release of this pressure by trying to hold the sneeze in, it can cause a rupture in your eardrums, irritation of the throat, and even severe cases, rupture blood vessels in your eyes or brain. Sounds rough.
There
Oh,
you
I
go.
got one.
Yeah, there we go, Joey.
We stalled for you, Joe.
That I'm a leader. I can be a leader.
And you don't believe that.
Well, I haven't in the past
Okay, why?
because I just never felt. I always felt like I'm a follower, and so I never felt like I was leading people, and that I wasn't capable of it. Whether that was because I wasn't smart enough growing up, or I just didn't have enough high self-esteem, whatever it may be. So.
Okay, that's. I want to know in the chat, like for you, have you ever been labeled something that positive, not negative? Like we're going positive here, that you just didn't see in yourself. Somebody else saw something in you. You're like, that's not me. That's for somebody else. Have you ever been in that position? Lily, how about you? Can you think of a time that somebody's labeled you something positive and you're like, I don't see that in myself?
Yes.
Okay. We just getting a yes today, or do we get more?
You get more.
Okay, let's hear it.
I'm thinking.
Oh, okay.
I feel like I need some time too. Like I need someone to Google something, so I have a second to think about it.
Should we Google, should you work with gloves or not? We're not going to, though. Okay, how about you, Dwayne? You've heard this little bantering back and forth. How about you? Have you ever been called something that you just don't see in yourself?
I mean, I think being called one of the wisest men ever, like, I mean, that's a pretty hefty one.
We call you, that is true. We do think, we have you around because of your wisdom. And you're a good guy. And we like you, like, a lot. But
I think he's wise.
Yeah, he is.
ooh, that's 3. Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we.
Well, yeah.
He goes.
Head nod.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Smile and head.
That's the tension that I kind of want to jump into is that we live in the nots and not in the do's. Like I am a leader, so therefore I'm going to act like a leader. I am a great athlete, so therefore I'm going to train like a great athlete. I am a good person, so I'm going to behave good. I am wise, so I'm going to give wisdom. Like because we don't believe the good things, we don't tend to live in the good things. We only live in the negative things that people say or we say to ourselves. Let's be honest, we live with the negative thoughts we tell ourselves all the time. Like somebody can say you're a great athlete or you're a great leader or wise, and we'll hear that and be like, that's somebody else. Because we have a picture of what wise people look like, or what wise people do, or what athletic people do, or business savvy people do. We have this picture of what they look like, and we often don't match that picture, and so therefore we don't behave in the way. We behave the opposite way. Lily, do you have your story? Did we give you enough time for your story?
Well, I hate to steal it, but I think of the leader thing too. But in my situation, it's like if I didn't do everything right, or even if I missed something, then I'm not a good leader. Like I'm not qualified to be in that position because I didn't think to do X, Y, and Z. And so instead of learning, like taking it as a learn, I just disqualify myself because to me, I need to get it right the first time.
Because when you are called a leader, you think perfection.
I think of perfection, yeah. Like someone who deserves to be in that role.
Like you're like you
Can't
think
mess up.
of you're a failure.
Yeah,
And you're
Yeah.
not enough.
right.
You're not enough. Okay. So how do we combat that? Like I'm sure there's people in the chat listening to this going, okay, I've been called, labeled a few things that are positive, and I don't believe it, I don't see it, so I don't live in it. So how do we begin to move in a direction of listening to the things we've been called and living in those things? And here's where I'm headed in a little bit of it, is that when we read through the Bible, that's where we get most of our thoughts and things of that nature driven from. The Bible says that we are all, and we can fill in the blank, you fill in with whatever scripture you have, right? You can fill it and go, but I don't believe that's who I am. Maybe you're forgiven of your past. You're like, I don't believe that. So we carry our past with us. We're defined by our past instead of being set free from our past. You are a child of a king, which means that Jesus is the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords, meaning you're a king. Think about what kings give to their children. You're an heir to a lot of great things. But if you don't believe that, you don't behave that way, and therefore it derails you. So let's go on. We got Dwayne that's saying the wisest. We've labeled him in a positive way, one of the wisest people that we get to do life with. And then Joey and Lily are both coming off the idea, like, hold on, people call me or have said they see leadership in me, but I don't see it. How do we combat those negative thoughts of going, I don't see what that individual sees in me? How do we combat that? And if you have steps online, we'd love to see that, as I get to see Kayla Lily's name pop in there. Good morning, Kayla Lily. What are some steps for us to begin to move towards seeing ourselves how others see us in a positive way? Again, that's where we're focusing today, not the negative. And especially when God, we read a scripture that goes, oh man, that's God looking at me in a way. How can we move that direction? Dwayne, do you have an initial thought there? Then we'll come to Lily. Then we're coming to Joey if we if we
get there.
Yeah, if we get there. Dwayne?
Yeah, so with people, I mean, I think, I don't know, like being labeled wise or whatever, like I want to, I don't know, I guess my initial thought is I want to be around that person to kind of see, okay, whether, they're kind of being truthful with me, or they're just kind of, or they're, just kind of playing me up a little bit. But I think being around them, being around you guys, and kind of knowing your heart and getting to know people, like you can kind of see that, okay, hey, they truly believe this, and now I kind of need to kind of believe it myself. So I guess the more you're around someone, the more you're kind of told that, the more likely it is you're going to believe. That makes sense?
Yeah, that's good. Okay, so the more you're around that person, if you're gonna figure out if they're just blowing smoke a little bit or they're being truthful, and then you start, the more you hear it, the more you start living in it. How about you, Lil? When you hear somebody, well, your leadership deal, like, I don't see it all the time. How do you combat those negative thoughts?
I would say it's constantly reminding yourself of what the truth is. And if you're going off the truth of what the Bible says, I'm a daughter of a king, or I'm a child of God, or I'm chosen, wanted, loved, created with a purpose, those are the thoughts that need to be combated when you have the negative thoughts come in. So as soon as you start to think the opposite, it's no. And it's almost like a shield that you will put in front of that bad thought or that negative thought. And the more you do that, the more you will believe it, the more it will become truth in your heart, especially because it comes from what the actual truth is. It's not just like a magical equation. It's actually how we were created, and our Creator will assist in that process as well. He wants us to believe that. So, yeah. And I know it works because I've done it. I've watched it work in my life.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna use an Old Testament story context here for you that are in the chat today or watching at some point during the week, and you're like, Old Testament, what is it? Let me break it down like this. Old Testament is the Jewish scriptures. Currently, if you were to go to a synagogue today or temple today, they would be reading from the Torah, which is what we call the Old Testament. It's the part of the Bible that talks about Jesus and reveals God's character, who he is, what he's like. And so when we go to the Old Testament, it is fun to see God's character revealed for us. A lot of the Old Testament is not wrote to you and me. It's wrote to a group of people, the Israelites, or an individual. But it reveals God's character. And then you read the New Testament. That's the part of the Bible that covers Jesus, the Messiah, coming into the earth. It's tremendous. And then after Jesus' death and resurrection and going to heaven, we get the followers of Jesus, how the early church worked. You have a lot of writings from Paul, who is a very wise man, trying to teach us Jesus principles throughout it. Okay, so that's the quick overview of the Bible. We're going to go to the Old Testament, and this is revealing God's character, and it's showing us a little glimpse of how God sees us versus reality of how we see ourselves. So this is an old story that has been documented in a book called Judges, and it's about a man named Gideon. And it's such a fabulous story. We're not going to read all of it, but Gideon, here's how the story is introduced to us, or this is how we meet Gideon. In Judges chapter 6, verse 12, when the angel of the Lord appeared to Gideon, he said, "The Lord is with you, mighty warrior." I want you to zoom in, tune in, hear it, where the angel addresses Gideon as mighty warrior. Now, listen to Gideon's response to the angel. But sir, Gideon said, if the Lord is with us, why has all this happened to us? Where are all his wonders that our fathers told us about? And he said, did not the Lord bring us up out of Egypt? But now the Lord has abandoned us and put us into the hands of the Midianites. Immediately questioning God, yet was just addressed as the mighty God, not behaving as a mighty warrior. Sorry, he's not behaving a mighty warrior. Joey, what comes to mind when you hear the term or phrase mighty warrior? What jumps in your mind?
I mean, the first thing like that jumps in my mind would be like a powerful leader who can, conquer a lot.
Can conquer a lot. I picture an attitude of like, don't mess with me. Right. Like, I got you. Like, there's no doubt at all. Yet here we get this indication of Gideon going, right. Okay, I got a beef with you, God. Okay, so it indicates to us it's okay because we don't read in the next part where God, like, zaps him with bolts of lightning out of his eyes. I think that's how a lot of us picture God. We don't see that. Gideon is expressing concern, and he's not behaving as he's just been called in a positive way, mighty warrior. Goes on, the Lord turned to him and said, go in strength, you have and save Israel out of Midianites' hand. I am sending you. So the angel is going to carrying a message for you. You're going to go lead our group of people, the Israelites, out of the hands of your enemy. Lily, if that was a conversation that God was having with you this morning, he's like, Lily, mighty warrior, what's the female?
Mighty warrioress.
Is that
I'm
right?
Just kidding, I have no idea.
Yeah, what is the female version of warrior?
I'll just take warrior.
Okay, but I feel like there is like S should be on there.
Dwayne,
we're tapping into Dwayne. Dwayne, what would you say female warrior is what?
Yep, sounds good.
Smile and nod.
Smile and nod. Okay, so the God speaking to you today, Lily, and it's mighty warrioress. You go lead your group of friends out of the hands of. Okay, how would you process that?
Like a big task.
Would you see them? Do you see yourself as a mighty warrior?
With that task, no.
But even if
not
God,
today,
but
not today, because I just feel like that's a big task.
So you work with students.
I do.
Right? And you just did a big old race yesterday. I think we have a picture of the race.
I don't know if we do.
Oh, we don't?
I have the other picture.
You didn't load that one up there. You told me at the beginning you were going to load it up there.
I know, I'm such a fallible human.
You forgot to tell me you didn't load up that picture?
Don't.
Dwayne, I need
This is a perfect example. She feels like
Joey's
a
like,
failure.
I'm coming in.
But she's not.
Right. It's just like, it's human.
It's human, right.
Okay. So Joey's like, I get it. She's trying to save her. Lily should give a little bit of love to Joey for right there.
Thank you, Joey.
Okay.
You're welcome. You're great.
You're a mighty warrior.
She's a warrior.
You're really great.
You're really good. That your encouragement is just through the roof today. I mean,
you're really great.
You're really good. You're good. Okay, so you're a mighty warrior. God says that to you. Does that, like, literally, he's saying to you today, how does that change for you? If God's saying you're the mighty warrior, how would that change for you?
Well, here's the deal. If I want to be a daughter of the Most High King, I also want to be obedient to what he asked me to do. So if he gives me this huge task that I can't see myself doing and calls me a mighty warrior, I'm going to step out in obedience, scared as heck, confidence zero, but being able to remind myself, God called me a mighty warrior. And if he called me, he will equip me when the time comes. And that's what he did with Gideon. And that's what he did with people throughout Scripture. And that's what he does with us. But it's our chance is to be obedient and leave the rest up to him. And while I leave the rest up to him, I'm going to be telling myself, I'm a mighty warrior. I'm a mighty warrior. I can do this. I can do this.
Okay,
and
so
asking.
Yeah, go Joe.
Well, no, and asking him for help, because
Yeah.
I think a lot of times we want to do it ourselves and we have the strength by ourselves. But it talks about the Lord is with you in that first verse, and if he's with you, then you can conquer
Right. I think that's part of the part that we all kind of skip, Joey. Good to point it out. The Lord is with you, said the angel, mighty warrior. I don't think he gets labeled mighty warrior without that relationship with God.
Yeah, that's good.
I think that's the thing that tipped it over to mighty warrior. And here's the proof into that. If you go down to verse 15. But the Lord, Gideon asked, how can I save Israel? My clan is the weakest, and I am the least in my family. So he's starting to say, I'm the smallest of the small. I'm I'm the little guy. I'm not equipped with. Go get the guy that's like all jacked and stuff. Go get that person that's working out all the time, that CrossFit athlete. Go get them. That's who you want. And then the answer is, I will be with you, and you will strike down all the Midianites together. I will be with you. That is like, if that's all you hear today, that's what makes us mighty warriors, is I will be with you. Dwayne, you moved from Mississippi to Minnesota. That's a big move, right? That's not little. You have a family, a wife, and it's like, okay, hey, we're going to move from this M state to that M state. Where did your confidence in that come from? Was it just like, this is a good idea, let's go try it out? Or were you like, no, I feel like that's where we're supposed to go?
Oh yeah, 100%. Like it's, we've had a lot of great conversations with our daughters. It's like, hey, we don't know what it all looks like, but we know this is where God's calling us, and we want to be in God's will. And if he calls us, he's going to prepare, he's going to equip us, he's going to lay everything out for us. Like he's going to provide for us. So it definitely came in kind of God's provision for us, because we've always lived in Mississippi. And there's a lot of different things, little nuances from, I'm guessing, state to state. I know there's a big one from one M state to the other M state. But yeah, it's all in God's ability to kind of provide for us.
I like that. Okay, now help us understand well, I understand it, but for some of this, you're talking about God called us and all the, what is it? Can you break that down a little bit? Like, explain that to someone that would be like, wait, so God spoke to you. How do you know God spoke to you? Lily was referring to that. We're all talking about God speaking to Gideon here, but I don't have conversation. There's no angels that are popping up on my shoulder going, Scott, mighty warrior, I want you to go do this, conquer the trails. I don't have that, right? So what does it look like when God's calling you, Dwayne? What does that look like for somebody that's like, how do I know if God's speaking to me or not?
Yeah, so for me, before we even moved up here, so I grew up a Vikings fan, so kind of always loved kind of Minnesota, the Twin Cities. I had a chance, 8 years ago now, maybe 5, I don't know, somewhere along those, to come up here and to pass out bottles of water at the University of Minnesota campus. It's like, you know what? This is a really pretty city. Maybe one day, just kind of my wildest dreams. Like maybe one day I can live up here. I don't know. And then we went home, and just meeting Scott and Holly, just praying for them. It's like God's just kind of like, hey, I think you're gonna move up there. It's like, well, wait a second. Like if that's really what you want me to do, if that's really what it is, then you're gonna have to convict Elizabeth, my wife. She's gonna have to be on board.
You used another big word there, convict.
Yeah.
See, the dude's wise. He uses big words. Convict is what?
So convict is like confirming. Like you're gonna have to confirming with my wife. Like she's gonna have to be on board with that as well. So, and again, it was several years later, but our church in Mississippi started like, hey, we're gonna start a church in Minnesota, and it's like it's just God, it's kind of a constant nagging. It's a constant thought that's there, that whenever it comes up, it's just kind of an uneasiness, just kind of feeling that, okay, hey, this is God is talking to me, like God, like he's just constantly bringing this thought up of you need to move to Minnesota. So once we kind of step through that door and say, hey, you know what, we're going to be obedient. Um, the like just that piece, like, okay, hey, we're super excited about this. We feel really good. We feel on board. We like kind of have that peace that God is going to take care of us.
Well, I like that you used the word peace. Oftentimes, I think when God speaks to us and it's a crazy idea, you can know with all the knowledge that this is crazy. Most people don't do this, but you can find a peace in it as well. It's peace in the craziness. That's how I say it. It's the peace in the craziness is usually how you know God's calling you to do that. The peace in the Why would I sell my house right now to move on the other side of the city? That makes no sense right now, but I have peace in it. Oftentimes is God leading us in a direction because he sees something in you that you do not yet see, or he's needing to put something in you do not possess yet for life, and so he calls and moves us. It's that piece of understanding that we are part of the story, we're not the story. In us moving, it's always two things. We're either in a season of lesson or a season of mission, and sometimes the third option is those two things are combined, but God is always either teaching us something or on mission to help someone, be a light in the darkness if you call yourself a follower of Jesus. So I want everyone to, if you log off early today, understand you are, in the lens of God, you are a mighty warrior. So would you live like a mighty warrior would? Would you behave like a mighty warrior? Not because you possess the ability, but because God has called you a mighty warrior. And we can go into the New Testament where we see Jesus talk about the potential every one of us has, the greatness that lies inside us all, that is just waiting to go after, that we're waiting to pursue. I've always said this, that I think the saddest thing about walking through a cemetery is that is where the most untapped potential lays to rest, because most people give up on themselves. We'll give more attention and more love and faith in somebody else's ability to do it than ourselves. Oh yeah, I believe Lily can do that more than I can actually think. I think Joey's a better leader than me because I can see it in him. But when somebody calls me a leader, I don't think so. We lie to ourselves. Therefore, it puts ourselves in shackles, and we no longer move as a mighty warrior. The thing is what makes us mighty warriors or warrioresses is that God is with us. I will be with you. Like at Kayla Lily, we celebrate with you that you're closing on your condo. It just feels like just the other week, right? You were in your kind of frantic about life and where we're going to live and how's this going to go down. And here we are. We're going to close on it at some point this week, I think I saw. And we celebrate as your friends online with that because we've been praying through it. But you were a mighty warrior back then, going through the process, and you still are. And God still has plans for your family to do great things. Move into your new place and know that you are on mission there for your neighbors, that you are a mighty warrior, that you can be a bright light, but we have to act like a warrior. So what makes up a mighty warrior would be my question. What are the qualities that we would say make a great warrior? And I'm going to take off the table a great fighter, right? I think that's where we naturally go. Every time I read Mighty Warrior, I think of Troy. I don't know why I do. I just think of the movie Troy with Brad Pitt. Achilles is like, that is a mighty warrior. Super selfish. I think one of the biggest things, then you go to The Last Samurai, a different version of warriors, and they're all about serving. And I start going, ooh, maybe that's the quality of mighty warrior that God is actually talking about here to Gideon. Because Gideon, remember, this dude seems to be a very fearful man, not adequate of being a mighty warrior. So what makes up a mighty warrior? We're going to let Joey, Lily, and Dwayne throw out one quality. We'd love to hear in your chat here, what would you say is a quality of a mighty warrior? Write it in the chat. We're going to go with Joey last, give him the most time. We'll go with Lily first and then Dwayne. Lily, what do you say? A mighty warrior possesses what?
One thing that came to mind was humility. So someone who is humble.
Okay, so yes, Joe.
Well, this might be I agree. Like, so like that's the tough thing I feel like is how do you balance being the mighty warrior and not being prideful and being that humble, having that humble.
Okay, say that one more time.
How do you like balance like feeling like you're a mighty warrior but being humble, but not being prideful?
Yeah,
I think understanding why you're a mighty warrior. It's not for anything that you do.
Right.
It
That's
is
good.
who is with you.
Yeah,
right. It's a right position. It's understanding that you are being led by someone and you're not the conqueror, right? That you conquer
Right.
things through who's with you. And again, I know that if you're not into being a follower of Jesus, that's like you're like, well, man, I want to be that. I get it. It's good to be self-confident, and there is a value in that. You're trying to teach that to kids, like be self-confident, but not so much that they don't see God's provision in their life, that God is leading them and guiding them. So then the other danger is false humility or too much humility of like, I'm not good enough. And it's like, all of a sudden that's like an anchor in your life of like insecurity just anchors you in one spot. I'm incapable of doing something because I can't even see it myself. So therefore we're paralyzed. So it's this tension in our lives to not get prideful, I got this on my own, and not too insecure where I can't do anything and I stay put. Both are dangerous. It's to be understanding that it's God with us is the key. It's without that, we are a shell of a human.
And I think no matter what, if you have pride going in, too much humility, not enough humility, I think no matter what on the other side, who you give the credit to, how it turned out will reveal if you were truly humble. Because if you were truly humble and walked through a really hard circumstance, or you were a mighty warrior through something and you recognize that God was with you the whole time, you're giving him the credit.
Yeah, it's telling the story, the right story. It's a great way to practice this is when you get the job promotion. It's not, oh, well, yeah, I deserved it. I worked hard. Yes, you did all those things, but God provided it. Yes, you did the work, but God still opened the door. How many times you've heard stories where people were all primed and ready for that promotion and they didn't get it? It's not because they weren't the right candidate. It was God's like, no, that's not where I want to lead you. It's not God being a bad guy, a provider. It's like, no, I got a different path for you. And remember, God's always trying to put us on mission or to teach us something. If we always keep that mindset, then you really get the understanding of the season you're in. And seasons can be daily, and they can be weekly, monthly, a year thing, but they're just seasons in life you're at. I like what some of the people are writing in the chat here. I saw Manning. He wrote empathy.
Marnie.
Oh, Marnie. Gosh, I did it again, didn't I?
Okay.
Thank you for correcting me. I'm telling you, it's far away.
It's okay.
I just see M-A and Y. I'm like, okay. Nonetheless. Manny, apologize. You're two people to me today. But empathy is a great one because it just, if you don't have that, you'll roll over people, really.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be. You'll use your strength, your power, your position to roll over people. How about you, Dwayne? What would you say one of the things is a quality of a warrior?
I think perspective. I think you can get lost in the nuance of daily life. Whether if you want to take the battlefield, like you can get lost in everything that's going on. But kind of having that perspective of being able to pull back and okay, hey, what's actually going on? So I think having that perspective is huge.
Ooh, that's good. I like what Jen wrote in the comments. She's piggybacking off of what we talked about a little bit ago. When you're at I think she is, on the ends of both perspectives of
Humility.
pride and insecurity. If you're living there, she writes this, both ends of the spectrum stems from forgetting who is with you. So when you feel inadequate to the spot of I can't do that move, you forgot that you are a child of God. If you are prideful and think, I got this, I can do this all on my own situation, you forgot that you're a child of God and that your Heavenly Father has a plan for you. and you want to be led by. That's so good, Jen. Thank you for writing. You guys are on fire today in the chat. Thank you so much for being in there. I like being able to look over here as much as I can and read and mess up your names. I think one of the qualities when I was writing down Mighty Warrior, they're proactive. They're not waiting. Oh, let me just see how the day goes. But within rhythm, like maybe proactive with rhythm, understanding that I can't always attack. Or maybe that's still being knowing when the right time to attack is, when the right time is to rest, when it is right to be all the things we're writing, empathy.
I think that's good too, because Marnie put in the chat, I get anxious trying to figure out the balance, and you're using the word rhythm, and it's like you're using the word proactive and rhythm. And I think proactive shows movement. Whether or not you physically move, you know what you're supposed to do in the moment. So if that's to rest, like Scott's saying, then rest and be slow. Or if it's to take a step, and even if it's scary, do that. And finding the rhythm of when to know what to do, instead of trying to find some sort of balance that really, like, one thing, you tip a scale, and it's hard to live like that.
Yeah, I think Lily taps on something I'm always trying to teach people, and I learned it years ago, that Western culture especially teaches us, there's some kind of mystical balance to parenting and getting a job and taking care of your land, whatever the things in your life got, right? We got to balance it all. The right percentage of time to all of those things. And it's like, if you get stopped by an extra stoplight, all of a sudden the balance is out. Now I'm anxious, and it's like spinning plates, right? It's too much. Like at some point you put an extra plate on, and all of a sudden plates start wobbling, and it's like, and it's overwhelming. It leads you into a very dark spot. But rhythm, when you recognize there's rhythms of seasons of life, meaning there is a busy schedule and there's a not so busy schedule. And so when I'm not busy, I'm going to behave like a mighty warrior. I'm going to be proactive to spend time with this group of people, my friends, my family, take care of this. And I'm going to do extra work here so that when I swing into the rhythm of life where I'm really busy, that those things don't fall apart. I don't lose those relationships. And so it's understanding the rhythms that you're in. I mean, nature is in a rhythm. I mean, the sun and the moon setting and rising, it's a rhythm. The seasons from winter to fall to or I did that backwards, winter to spring to summer, right? Those are all rhythms. And if we stay inside rhythms, you're not trying to balance, right, in a given week of like, this is a really cold day, this is a hot day. Mother Nature is not doing that kind of, it's the seasons that you're in, and there's a rhythm to it. We want rhythm. You want the right thing for the right time. And the best illustration, if you're a musician or not a musician, you get it. You can sit in a room, and if the music sounds off, but you're not a musician, you can go, this doesn't sound right. And someone goes, that's because the drums are playing a beat that nobody else is playing, so they're out of rhythm. And you know it. It's like in your own life. A lot of times you can't figure it out. It's because you're out of rhythm to the season you're in. I hope that makes sense. But as a mighty warrior, you recognize the season you're in, and you get in rhythm to the season, which should bring down and decrease the anxiety. I think also a mighty warrior knows that playing it safe is risky. Playing it safe is risky. That kind of ties into the proactiveness, but a mighty warrior is willing to take the risk, willing to fail a little bit. Now, Lily was alluding to that a little bit earlier ago. Okay, you call me a great leader, but when I fail, I feel like I'm not. I think failure is how we define it. I think they are, as long as no one's like physically hurt, emotionally, right? Like a healthy mistake. Not death or anything that's tragic, right? A healthy mistake is a lesson. It's a learn. We don't want to always learn through life. We don't want to gain wisdom by experience all the time, but it's inevitable. It's just how you learn in life, and some things are usually just, you got to catch it. You got to fall to understand, I shouldn't do that. And so you've got to be in a spot where you know that playing it safe is actually the risk. You're going to miss out on some really amazing things. Joey, do you have one that a warrior is made up of?
Yeah, I think perseverance. Persevering through the tough times, or when you want to quit, and not have that never giving up attitude, kind of, and knowing that God is with you and that you're going to get through it, but it might not be a one-day thing. It might, you know, you never know the time frame of whatever it may be you're leading through, or so perseverance.
Perseverance. Whew. I like perseverance and endurance. They both
Or
are very
endurance.
similar, right?
Yeah.
It's don't give up. You can quit tomorrow, but never today. I give you permission, all of you. You're looking at time to quit tomorrow, but never today. And the fact that with that statement is you're like, so you're saying tomorrow I can quit. Yeah, but tomorrow you got to say the same phrase to yourself. Oh, yeah, I can quit tomorrow, but not today. So you never quit. Never give up. Figure out how to accomplish it. Maybe you got to back up and look at it at a different angle. And now here's the deal. There are some things that you should quit in your life, right? Like things that are destroying relationships. There are things that you should quit. The other thing, a thing that a mighty warrior needs to have are friends around them that are equally driven on the things. We're going to read a segment of the Bible that just illustrates something to the point. There's going to be a lot of names on the screen that we're not going to actually say their names because they're just I don't speak their, I don't know. It's just crazy. Okay, I might shorten them sometimes for you, but you can read along. You can pretend like you can read them as well. But you got to hear this list of David's 30 men, his mighty warriors, he calls them. Now, we talk about King David in 2022 because David was exceptional. He was the second king of Israel. It's not just documented in the Bible. You can go to the history books of the Jewish nation Israel, and they will talk about King David being the second king. So he's in the history books. He's talked about how he set up the temple to be built by his next son. All these amazing things David did. He was a huge warrior. He took over and conquered so many things is wild. But when you read about the accolades of the people around him, it's wild. But I'm not surprised then why David is mentioned how he is in the history books, because these are the guys that he did life with. These were his friends, but he called them his 30 mighty warriors. And so as David is on his deathbed, okay, when you read through 2 Samuel 23, this is where David is on his way out. Life is over. He's around 70 years at this point. He's reflecting. He's looking back on life, and he's like, I got to make some mentions. I didn't get here on my own. Yes, it was first recognizing, and you see it, he was led by God. God said this, and this is the only man or woman God said this about, and this is Acts 13:22, said, I found David, a son of Jesse, a man after my own heart. He'll do everything I'll ask him to do. That is a definition of a mighty warrior of God. That they will do everything God asked him to do. God did not say David was perfect. We know through David's life that he wasn't. He really messed up. So he did some stupid stuff. But here God says this man is a man after my own heart. So he had the very first thing we talked about. You have to have God in your life to be considered a mighty warrior. You've got to be led by God. So my question to you at home where you're watching, where are you led? Where's God leading you? And so Lily's going to help me read some of this just because we can. And it's funny to have a bunch of different people to read it. And so we're going to read in 2 Samuel chapter 23. She's going to read the first, if you pull up my notes there, Lil, you'll read, just stop after the frozen hand sword guy. Okay?
Okay.
And so at home, you guys are going to just listen to this. Listen to the accolades really quick.
Stop after the frozen.
Yeah,
Okay.
but start on verse 8.
These are the names of David's mighty warriors. Joseph Basebeth, a Tachmonite, was the chief of 3. He raised his spear against 800 men, whom he killed in one encounter. Next to him
Wait, hold on. Did you just let's pause there really quick because that's wild. He raised his spear against 800 men, whom he killed in one encounter.
Yeah, that's wild.
That's 800 to 1. No one would choose those odds, ever. Yet here he is. Okay. Mm-hmm. Why has no one named their child that?
Joshua Basebeth.
Yeah, that's why, because no one
there
can.
It is.
Okay, go on.
Next to him was Eleazar, son of Dodai the Ahotite. As one of the 3 mighty warriors, he was with David when they taunted the Philistines, gathered at Pas-dammim for battle. Then the Israelites retreated, but Eleazar stood his ground and struck down the Philistines till his hand grew tired. and froze to the sword. The Lord brought about a great victory that day. The troops returned to Eleazar, but only to strip the dead.
Okay. Now, I know some of you are like, this is my beef with God. Why is so much killing in the Old Testament? We do not have time to go into that. But there is a reason. And it's a lot of people use this as like God is an evil God because of this. That is not 100% accurate. But I do want to speak to, because we're going to talk about a lot of like warriors, mighty warriors in this context. And you're like, well, this is kind of a morbid. Understand, this is the day and age that they lived in. It was conquer or be conquered situation going on. It was not God ruthlessly taking out people, like picking on this person or that person. God was also using the group of Israelites to show and teach what it was like to be a follower of God. And so he is using the Israelites to show it when they obeyed and they didn't obey and things of that nature. So there's a lot we can draw from that. But a lot of people get hung up on the fact, oh, God in the Old Testament is such a mean God. Remember, in context, culture was conquer or be conquered. But you read about this dude who's like, have you ever, like Joey, yesterday when you're swinging your sledgehammer, right? You talk about your hands getting tired, right? Yeah. Could you imagine swinging the sledgehammer to the spot where your wife had to come and pry your hands from it?
No.
No, because you would stop, right?
Yeah.
Dwayne, how about you as a baseball coach? Has anyone swung the bat so much that their hands are stuck on the bat?
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Have you ever come close to this in anything you've ever done? You've held on to it so tightly that somebody had to peel your hands off of it.
Not necessarily peel the hands off, but you can kind of like, as you're letting go, your kind of hands are like it kind of doesn't open up as well.
Yes. Okay. So that reminds me of in elementary school, we used to do a magic trick.
Oh.
And it plays into this whole scenario. You can try this. Mom and Dad, your kids will think you're great. We used to take 2 rocks, put them in each hands, these your pointer finger and your thumb finger, and you have them push the rocks together. And you talk about, okay, I'm going to magnetize the rocks now. And you're telling them to push as hard as they can. They got to push. And then you take another rock and you go around and around and around as many times as you want. But you're making, and then when they go to pull it away, it's like, it feels like it's magnetized and you're just playing on the tension of the muscles that are releasing. It's really wild. But it points to the deal that this guy swung his sword so much that his hands and his tendons and his ligaments were frozen in place and then had to become released because they kept wanting to grip it. Again,
I get it.
There's tenacity in that guy.
Yeah.
Like, pull from the qualities of these. These are the mighty warriors, okay? So David, he goes, there's these 3 that are top tier, which we saw, and rightfully so. The first guy we talked about, Josh Ib, 800 men, 1 to 800. He should be your top of your 30. Okay, the next guy stood by himself. Okay, the next day was Shemen, son of Egi, the Heretites. When the Philistines banded together, took at the place where they were fields full of lentils, Israel's troops fled with them. But Shimei took his ground in the middle of the field. He defended it and struck the Philistines down, and the Lord brought a great victory. Pretty good. This guy won the battle as the rest of the army fled. Think about that one. And here is one of the coolest stories I've ever read. Lily's going to read it really quick in verse 13.
All right, here we go. You can find this in 2 Samuel 23. You should read it. During harvest time, 3 of the 30 chief warriors came down to David at the cave of Adullam, while a band of Philistines was encamped in the valley of Rephaim. At that time, David was in the stronghold, and the Philistine garrison was at Bethlehem. David longed for water, and he said, "Oh, that someone would get me a drink of water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem." So the 3 mighty warriors broke through the Philistine lines, drew water from the well near the gate of Bethlehem, and carried it back to David. But he refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out before the Lord. "Far be it from me, Lord, to do this," he said. "Is it not the blood of men who went at the risk of their lives?" And David would not drink it.
Okay, there's so much in that story, and we're not going to read the rest of it, but you should go read. You should just read the rest of the 30 mighty men. You got these guys that come to David. If you can picture David is stuck with a mountain behind him on all sides. So he's wrapped around. The only way out is through the Philistines. He mutters the words, "Whew, I could use a drink." These other dudes hear, and there's 3 of them there, right, Lil?
There's 3.
Okay. There's 3 sitting there. They hear
3 of the 30.
David doesn't even say it to him. He's just saying, you know how you just talk to yourself. Probably it's something I could use a really nice drink. You're not saying that to anybody. You know it's probably impossible to get a drink, and he says it. These guys go, "Oh, let's go get him a drink." The well is on the other side of the Philistine army, so they have to fight through the Philistines and live. Go get a drink. I'm imagining somebody pulling up the water and the other like fighting swords, clinging and clacking all over the place while they're trying to pull up this water, right, to get to the
Good friends.
They get the water. Now they have to fight back through the Philistines, not spill the water, because what good is it if you get all the water and spill it before you get to the king, right? Then they get to the king and they give it to him. I think right there, and Dan was writing as he is a knight. If you didn't know that, dude, Dan, he's got so many cool titles, like Farmer
Dan as Sir Knight
How
Dan.
about Farmer Dan the Knight? This sounds like a movie. Okay, but he writes in here as a knight, "I am called to be a protector, humble. I do not know what that is, and noble. Each day I am called to put on the full armor of God, as we all are." Okay, so he is talking about the qualities of a knight, a warrior. I read this here, and you see selfishness all day on these 3 guys. I'm going to serve someone. Now David, being the leader of them, he pours it out. Joey, let's say you have your last $3, and you go, "Man, Scott said he's thirsty." You go out and get a drink for me. You bring it back. You drove 20 minutes away to get my favorite drink, and you brought it back, and I got it here, and I just poured it on the ground.
Yeah.
What would your first reaction be?
Okay. I'd probably be like, "What's this guy's deal?"
Mad.
I'd be like, "Weren't you thirsty?"
Oh yeah, you would be confused.
Yeah, I'd be confused. I'd be like, "Yeah."
Bro,
What's your problem? That's right.
what the heck?
Yeah, I don't know if I would. Yeah, I mean, I'd just be like, "What are you doing? Are you?"
Yeah, crazy. Are you crazy?
Yeah.
Right? Okay, and that's you just driving. You didn't probably risk your life very much outside of the Minnesota drivers around here. Okay?
AKA me.
And you dump it out on the ground. I dump it out on the ground. I mean, you feel probably at least unhonored.
Yeah.
Okay. And here is these dudes risk their life, pour it on the ground, and David. Dwayne, I'm going to come to you and see if you can explain to what's happening here. So if you need to reread it, maybe you need to. "So the 3 mighty warriors broke through the Philistine lines, drew water from the near well, and carried it back to David. But David refused to drink it. Instead, he poured it out before the Lord." And he says, this is David, "Far be it from me, Lord, to do this," he said. "It is not the blood of men who went at the risk of their lives." And David would not drink it. What is David trying to say here, Dwayne, as he pours out water from men that risk their life? Can you see what David's trying to teach here?
Maybe it would be, I don't know exactly. Maybe it's like, it's kind of one of those selfish things that, okay, hey, that really wasn't something that God necessarily wanted to happen, but that was just kind of me stepping out and using my influence to unnecessarily risk the lives of my guys.
Yeah, I think he recognizes that, it's a afterthought. Oh crap, my words are powerful. And it's going to move people to do things without me even asking. The second thing I think here is that he's saying no one should risk their life for me, but for God. So he turns this act of men that is to a man, and he turns it around in the form of worship, saying, no. I'm going to do 2 things here. One, what you guys just did isn't going to be for me. It's going to be for God. So what you did, this is going to be, David calls it a drink offering, and he pours it out in some translations, a drink offering, saying, God, I'm going to not drink this, because if I drink it, then it would be the men did it for me. I'm going to turn it into a drink offering. So now I've just bypassed me, and put myself in the right position that you are leading me. I'm led by you, God. I am a mighty warrior because I know who's leading me, and I'm going to turn these young men around in that their form of worship now became their wanting to get something to drink for me. He turned it all back to God. He pointed those guys to, hey, men are okay to risk your life for, in a sense of, to save someone from getting hit by a car, right? Those are reactive things. But to go risk your life just for a king, he's trying to say, no, you got it wrong. We do this for God and God alone. God is the king. We serve God, and so I just think it's a huge thing David's trying to teach his mighty men, that he's not the king. He's just the substitute, like, man version of the actual king that we should all be focused on. That's how I read it and take it. In that is that it's this, wow. He understood who God was. My question to you at home, right, wherever you guys are watching today, do you have a right understanding of who God is? And are you willing to keep God there? Or do you keep inserting, oh no, I should be the one where people should risk their life. I should be the one where God takes a back seat and people recognize how strong and powerful I am? Or do you give credit that God is leading you in all your moves, and that the wisdom that you possess and have attained is God-given? Not on loan, it's God-given, but it's the understanding of that. And then, as David writes down the accolades of some of his mighty friends, do you have friends like this? Are your friends pushing you to be better, or are you the one pushing all of them, pulling all of them to be better? You need to get some friends that are going to push you to be better. They're going to make you better. You should be doing life with people that make you better at whatever you want to be better at. If that is a better hockey player, then find great hockey players to just go skate with. I try to teach my son all the time, who loves to play football and is a runner. And he's like, man, I'm the fastest one. I was like, that's great. But who are you running with that's faster than you? Who are you playing hockey with that's better than you? Who are you playing football with that's better than you, that's going to make you better? Who's a better parent than you that you can rub shoulders with so you can be better? Those are the people that are going to make you better. If you're the top dog, that's just where you be, and that's a very prideful place to sit. We want to remove ourselves from the top dog. We want to be able to continue to pull our friends with it, but we got to have friends that are going to keep pulling us ahead to be better, to find out who we are in Christ. And know this, to every last one of you, you are a mighty warrior. God has plans for you and a purpose for you. And may that you live in that. And may you have the qualities that we speak of today. I've been in my own time of studying, as I keep seeing, where mighty warrior, I want to tattoo that, just because there's so many times in a day, I know we all don't think we're mighty warriors. I don't got it. I can't do that. I'm not good enough in this area of my life. It might be small areas in your life where you're a mighty warrior, but this is a whole package deal. Your whole life, you are a mighty warrior. Live like that. And this isn't, you're going to go conquer. Jesus comes and says, hold on. Love comes into the picture and says, no, we're not going to power up. We're going to power down. A mighty warrior understands we're powering down, not powering up. It's to live in the upside down, which means we flip everything that we think is powerful and flip it upside down. Actually, to serve is powerful. To love is powerful. To give is to be powerful. Those are the real things. We just get duped in the world on how to do it. And so I hope today, in some roundabout way, we've said something that would rattle your bones, to live in the idea of being a mighty warrior, and to look at the friends that you have. I'm not telling you to break up with all your friends and say, you're not making me better. That would be not being the mighty warrior we're talking about. But to find friends that are making you better, that make you have to work at being better. And those friends that make you kind of, oh, you know what? I don't have to run as much. I don't have to work at it as much, because I just be mindful how much time you spend with them, because it's as simple as it can be. Joey is a monster in the size ratio to me and him. He's stronger than me. But you know what? I put him on the stool I'm standing on. I can pull him down so fast. I could ask him to lift me up, and he would struggle to lift me up. He might be able to do that by dislocating my arm and get me up to his level, but there's no way he can do that forever. He'd get tired. But it's so easy for me to pull him down to my level, and that's the truth of the friends that pull you down and are not doing life in the way you're doing it. They're ultimately going to pull you down. And they have a lot of help. Gravity works with them. And so just be mindful of those friends you're doing life with. Think about it. When your time comes, as David writes down the accolades of his 30 greatest friends, warriors around him, what is the group of 30 you're doing life with that you ultimately would put in that position? Do they inspire you to be better? Are they going to help your name be wrote in somebody else's life in their history book of, man, that person changed my life forever because they served me. They had empathy for me. They loved me. They were a mighty warrior in the sense of how we're defining it here. Not that we conquer. We're not looking to be conquerors. We're looking to be, well, all the qualities we've said today. Let me pray. Jesus, I hope that this hits home with somebody, that you're nudging their hearts, that it's a thought today that they can think about. Jesus, I thank you for the time that we get to hang with you, talk about you, point people to you. May this intersect in people's lives as they are making decisions and closing on condos or looking to move, or maybe you're stirring the hearts of people to move other places because you're doing something great. If people are in a season of lessons, may they learn them and have sticky minds so they might be able to gain wisdom. For those that are on mission, may you give them the strength to be a light in the darkness and to point people to the right things. As people are looking in their lives at their group of friends they're doing life with, may you give them the right decisions to make to set themselves up for success in the future. Jesus, we absolutely love you in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Everybody, thank you for hanging with Dwayne. Thank you for hanging with us today, man. It's always good to have you with us today, getting the glimpse of the house, a little bit of the home, the homestead. It's good.
Is it?
Is that? Oh, it's a lamb behind you. I kept thinking that was a cow, a picture of a cow behind you, but it's a lamb.
No, it's a lamb. It's a lamb. It's
so cool.
From Isaiah 55:5.
Who painted it?
35:5. Elizabeth.
She did?
She painted most of the things in their house. It's
Really?
Really cool.
That part.
I
I
didn't
She did.
That's
What does it say?
That's nice.
It says, "He was pierced because of our transgressions, crushed because of our iniquities. Punishment for our peace was on him, and we are healed by his wounds." So, the Lamb. Isaiah 35:5.
I'm just saying, if I painted that, it would not look like that.
Yeah. me
Like-
either.
Oh yeah, me too.
Like the fact that you can tell that it has 4 legs and they don't look like they're on the same side of the body. Because every time I do legs on an animal, it looks like it's coming from the same side of the body. Right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, laugh. You know it's true of you. Dwayne, thank you, man.
Thanks,
Have
Dwayne.
a lovely afternoon, and we will see you later, okay?
Sounds good. See you guys.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
Dwayne. Hey, for everybody else that's still online, we would love to give you an opportunity to partner with us for resources. Lily's going to teach you how you can do that.
Yes, we love getting to do this weekly, and we're super grateful for the opportunity to spend this with you. It doesn't just come out of thin air, and it's an opportunity to be obedient what God asks of us in his word. Seriously, Google it. What does the Bible say about tithes and offerings? You should learn something today, and we make it super simple to do that here at Unlock. You can text the word Unlock to 77977 or go to unlockchurch.com/give. And on that website, you can get to know us. You can get to know what we're doing throughout the week. You can get to know our beliefs. And if you're new to this channel, we would love to have you come back next week. Same time, same place, same people. It's always a blast.
Different topic, though. We would love to have you. We are also doing on Memorial Day. What's happening on Memorial Day here in Minnesota? If we have anybody watching locally, Joey, do you know offhand?
Yeah, we are having a cookout at the Man Theater in Champlin, where we're going to have yard games and different things like that. Food. It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be awesome. The other thing we're going to do, if you're local, we're going to do a group ride of One Wheels, EUCs, whatever. If it's an electric device you want to, we're going to do a group ride. Bicycle, yep, you can do that. So we're going to do a group ride. Right from there, we're going to get a barbecue going, and then about an hour after starting that, we're going to go around Elm Creek Park. So it'd be sweet. It'd be a lot of fun.
It's
Come
exciting.
hang with us. We've never done it, so we have, but we've never actually started one. We'll see if people show up. At least we know we're going to have the 3 of us riding. 4.
Be there.
We got 4 people in here with One Wheels, so
Heck yeah.
4 of us are going to go on a Memorial Day ride in the park.
Yeah, well, it's going to be fun.
So that's your invite. And then we also have a camp this summer if you'd love to come attend or be a volunteer. It is on June 18th. July 18th. I was so way off. July 18th. We would love to have you join us if you want to. Come up here, hang with us. It's going to be awesome in the middle of summer. That said, everybody, thank you. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done that, so you know when we go live every Sunday. We are here, like Lily said. Thank you for hanging with us today. Thanks for allowing us to do an Earth quiz just out of random. You never know what's going to happen here. Hopefully you enjoyed today. We love all of you. Good to see all the names in the chat. Thanks for being in there and have a conversation. You guys are awesome. Thank you for those that are being a light in the darkness. You are champions. Guys.
Mighty Warriors.
Mighty Warriors. We love every one of you. Have a great Sunday, guys. Bye now.
See ya.